Does Jesus know what a tomato tastes like? Or more to the point, does he know what a pizza tastes like? You heard that question correctly. In today's episode of Big Questions, Little Answers, I will be fielding a question about Jesus' knowledge of sensible things. To learn the answer to this big question, stick around. Hello, my name is Father Ambrose Little, and I teach philosophy at the Dominican House of Studies. Welcome to Aquinas 101, Big Questions, Little Answers, the series where I do my best to answer your big questions about philosophy, theology, and more. One of our viewers asks, does Jesus know what a tomato tastes like? It's a New World plant that hadn't made it to the Middle East in the first century. But he's also God. How does this work? I think the worry behind this question is a result of the ambiguous way we use the word know. To know something can mean a lot of things. Here are 3 instances where I can know things in different ways. First, I can know a lot of facts about mathematics. This is a more purely intellectual knowledge that is a result of abstract reasoning that provides me with a set of facts. Then there is the kind of knowledge that I need to fix a flat tire. In this case, the knowledge for fixing a flat tire does involve some abstract notions for what the process is going to look like. For example, I know that you have to jack up the car, remove the lugs, etc. But there is also a kind of knowledge that comes from practice that is different from knowing the list of things to do. For instance, what it feels like when the lugs are tight enough, or how to use a hand crank to lift up the car. To be frank, when it comes to actually changing a tire, I may have intellectual knowledge about the process, but I nevertheless tend to call people with practical experience to actually do it. Lastly, there is the type of knowledge that we might call sensation. What it is like to taste a tomato, or how it feels to have a cool breeze brush your face on a hot summer day. These are just some of the different ways we say we can know things. Now, it is generally the case that while these types of knowledge give us different sorts of information, some types of knowledge are more encompassing than others. All things being equal, our abstract knowledge tends to grasp more information about a thing than our experience does. So my knowledge about what a tomato is gives me more insight into its nature than my taste of a tomato does, since taste is only one feature of the tomato. In fact, the taste of the tomato just gives me a dim image of a reality that I can understand more clearly with my mind. What is more, we can imitate the taste even without the tomato itself, so our intellectual knowledge of the tomato is more perfect than our sensible knowledge of it. Now, when it comes to God, God in his divine nature knows the world in an even more perfect way than our minds are capable of. It is so perfect that it surpasses even our most complete scientific analysis of things like tomatoes. With that in mind, what also follows from this is that God, in his divine nature, does not have sensible knowledge of things, like how a tomato tastes. This does not take away from his omniscience, because the way he knows things is greater and better than anything we can know by means of our senses. So in order to have an omniscient knowledge of a tomato, God doesn't have to know what it tastes like. His knowledge goes far beyond what taste can tell us. And in fact, his knowledge makes the tomato to taste the way it does. But I digress, because that is a complicated topic for another day. The point is God's knowledge is not less perfect because he does not taste sensible reality. In fact, it is more perfect precisely because he does not need to taste a tomato to know it. Now, things get a little complicated with the Incarnation. In the Incarnation, God the Son takes on our entire human nature, and as a result, he has senses and can have sensible experiences. He did this, after all, so that he could be like us in all things except sin, and so that he could experience suffering and so redeem us from our sins. So in the human nature of the Son, God does have experiences like how bread tastes or what it is like to enjoy warm sunshine upon your face. But as our questioner indicates, There are definitely things that Jesus never had sensible experiences of because he never had the opportunity to experience those things. He never could have tasted a tomato in his life on earth because they were not available to him in first century Palestine. Even more depressing, he never could have eaten a pizza. Despite that lack of experience, this fact does not take away from his omniscience as God. But we may wonder, does Jesus know what a tomato tastes like now? I don't actually know the answer to that question, because it is possible that somehow he has tasted a tomato. That is a big question we will have to ask him when we see him face to face. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Big Questions, Little Answers. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, may God bless you and keep you in his grace. I hope that answers all your questions, but if not, please let us know by submitting your big questions using hashtag AskAFriar in the YouTube comments and on social media. And don't forget to like and share with your friends, because it matters what you think.